Hello everyone and welcome back to Starfighters Italia for another live-streamed XTC 2021 match. Today on the table we have South Africa with John McAlery piloting Empire versus the Ed Holmes piloting Empire as well for Scotland. Obviously I'm not alone because I suck at X-Wing and I wouldn't know what to say. You have had a proof of that last night. Therefore with me there is Lloyd from Team England and Michael from Team South Africa. Hello guys.
Hello, thank you for having us on.
Thank you for dedicating your time not to me but to these two players offering to play on stream. I am just a mere content creator, also the boss, also the head judge, but you know, I'm just here to witness matches and say shit about people.
Sounds good. Sign me up for that.
And as always, Starfighters Italia, tune in for low quality streaming but high quality fun.
Did you say low quality streaming?
Obviously. Like I cannot count the number of times that I've like forgotten shields or upgrades or pushing buttons or I haven't not like started the timer. Like, ooh, way too many.
Righty, let's check this out. So John is obviously first player.
Yep.
Because of the bid and system phases, and he's put a gas cloud there in the corner. I'm guessing to not allow Whisper and Vader that to be able to hide behind. I know
Yeah,
that
it makes sense.
John and I spent quite a long time analyzing Turn Zero video from Ollie Pocknell about what to do with asteroids, etc. So we've spent quite a long time with these kind of things. So it'll be interesting to see what he lays out here.
And going into the game, do you feel like sort of what's John's approach for trying to capture one or both of Ed's ships? Is it trying to make sort of narrower tunnels that Ed's forced into the death ring can then go in and block with the advanced proton torps, or is it more?
Here you can see we currently got a gas cloud going in the middle of a channel. So he's obviously seeing that maybe Death Rain would like to come into channel, so he's trying to close it off.
Just giving himself out every time.
Yeah, so Death Rain with thermal deaths is able to reposition, take 3 actions a turn potentially, barrel roll, come down a different channel. He can adapt extremely well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Looks like John's taking a little bit of time here actually have you noticed, to actually pick up that next asteroid.
Well, that makes sense because like the match that we streamed last night, obstacles positioning is kind of fundamental when you have high agility, super dodgy, squirrely ships. Like having obstacles the other way around when confronted to your like actual flight plan is no good. Actually no good. So I would say that John should take all the time he needs to place the asteroids, and the same goes for Ed, because Ed is gonna fly I would say maybe pretty resilient Vader and an extremely squirrely Eco. So yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Lloyd, do you want to go through Ed's list? It's easy.
I can do. That's nice and easy. Yeah.
Yep.
He has got the expensive Vader and its High Defender, and Echo with Lone Wolf, passive sensors, Fifth Brother, and Starfighters. The whole list comes in at 191 points.
So it's a definitely challenging list. Not what I would have expected to see at the XTC.
Yeah, it feels like the kind of list where you're putting all of the emphasis on yourself to fly it better than your opponent, right? Like yes, it's a defender running around with 2 tokens, hopefully every turn. Yes, it has very consistent offense from Vader, but that ship is very easy to get wrong, put in the wrong spot, and have it get halved, and when it gets halved, you lose a chunk of points in a very short order.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. It's also very easy, I suppose, to play it too cautiously and not have it fire at all.
You know what? I appreciate the fact that Ed went for the lean way with Vader. I've seen people try all sorts of stuff with Vader. My main issue with that ship is that the upgrades that come with it in the Sky Strike Academy box, that, full disclosure, we still have to get in Italy, that sucks. Asmodee North America, get your shit together with the distribution, please, and thank you. What's that? The interloper acrobatic turn thingy.
Interloper turn, yeah.
I'm making Tina Belcher sounds. I'm not gonna say that it sucks, but I would never trade my Defender chassis ability and pay points for that. Not
Absolutely.
An option. Not an option. Nope.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how some of these upgrades get utilized in the future, you know? And it might just take some time for everybody to kind of maybe see how it would work. Maybe there's a ship, a coordinate, or something else that could make it insane. I mean, that sometimes these guys think up these things and only a year later or something, someone will pick up something from it.
Yeah,
And they'll
absolutely.
have to nerf it, you know? So it's very...
It's one of the best surprises, isn't it? When you pull a card out of the back of your folder somewhere that's never seen the light before, and then all of a sudden it combos perfectly with something that's just come out, and you have this amazing combo that nobody saw coming.
Yeah, like I remember when Slave 1 had stress on it, and I was going, this sucks, man, who would ever fly it like this? And then I was thinking, actually, because I flew a lot of Boba, and basically I was like, actually, they should have never removed the stress, ever, and it would have been probably like, alright.
Absolutely.
And then they wouldn't have had problems with having a force or whatever, maybe, at some point. So, you know, sometimes their writers don't work, who knows? We'll see what AMG does with that. Right, so at the moment we got a setup on the far end with Defender Vader and Echo. Echo probably looking to maybe bait around the side here. I'm kind of thinking that maybe this two-ship list would like to hang out, skirt the edges. Maybe just take some points off in the end.
So, Lloyd, I'm gonna cut you off because it seems that we do have a special guest. So, said special guest is now joining the TTS table, and now I will use technology to add said special guest to this call.
I was expecting some entrance music.
Dun 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 dun. Added. So 3,
Oh my god.
2,
It's Phil.
1. It's Phil GC, straight live on Starfighters Italia to knock down doors and give shit to players. Hello, Phil. Welcome.
Hi.
Look at that. From no prep, just straight in there.
Yes.
Yeah, just like, hello.
No prep, no pep talk. You're straight live because yes.
I'm just having a look at what lists I've got to look at because, yeah. Oh, so it's lots of Darth Vader going on today then.
Yeah,
There
this
is
is why we hold you. We had the option to have you play against TLTs in a first edition game, or call you and comment on Ed Holmes' game. So I mean, the choice was obvious.
Like Darth Vader is Defender. Darth Vader is super fun. I think. I'm not convinced. Like, I'm not convinced it's amazing. Like it's if it had the advanced sensor slot, yeah, it would be the most broken ship that ever played ever. But ultimately, it's a Defender without advanced sensors, so you just block the 4K and make him fly away. But it's
Yeah.
been a while.
Interesting. I quite like this rock setup for Ed. I feel like he's got quite a lot of open space for Vader to play in.
Yeah,
He's going to want to be in and around those obstacles and trying to make it tricky and cut down space. So I think Echo might spend a lot of time running, but yeah, it looks from this setup to me like Vader's got a lot of space to run around and play in.
Yeah, I mean, he can still just go 5 forward boost and just get round those rocks really quickly, and there's lots of space down in the corner where the other Darth Vader is.
I love that you came on and suggested the first thing you suggested is a 5 forward boost. Phil. Never change, Phil.
It's like I remember at a tournament just doing it, and it's like maybe that is the correct move. Maybe just like 5 forward boost is right. you know, but that said, you know, I haven't really played X-Wing for about 6 months properly, so
Oh, by the way, Lloyd, may I ask you a favor?
You can try.
Do you mind changing color of your player on TTS and unlocking and removing the buttons in the middle of the table?
Yeah, sure.
I would gladly avoid moving the viewpoint for our very dedicated viewers. Please don't flip the table.
Oh, all right, okay,
Yay, done.
awesome. I thought maybe it's just me seeing that. It's a stupid little glitch.
No, it's a glitch that lately happens when Field GC shows up.
I just realized we started the timer, but I haven't talked about John's list yet. Should I just throw it in there while
Yeah, go for it.
because we'll sidetrack a little bit here. We got Darth Vader Afterburners fire control system. That's the classic. It's probably not going to change for a while. Fifth Brother with homing missile, sense, and passives. That's obviously because he's annoying like that. And we got basically the sense over here is because they're both I4, and he'll be able to sense where to maybe do all Death Rain shenanigans. So Death Rain's going to be able to, obviously with thermal detonators, he's going to be able to drop a bomb, drop a thermal, reposition, or take an action, then drop another one, reposition. He's able to do multiple actions. He can reposition, coming through different channels. Advanced proton torps, delayed fuses. I mean, he's got so many options that he makes him kind of a little bit threatening to come in on. You know, obviously once you're in there, you might think, okay, maybe I can do some damage, maybe kill him. But with a 2-ship list, it's going to be a little bit difficult, especially with concussion bombs. You know, I mean, if you've ever gone up against a delayed fuse concussion bomb with the next level concussion bomb, and they're both activating on you, you're not gonna have fun with that one. So I've died a few times to this list, quite a few times, and he's flown it for a few months, so he knows what he's doing. So it'll be interesting to see where he's going, because it looks like he might be turning towards the open field.
Yeah.
At the moment.
That double I4 combination with sense, like sense is like if you've got the points, you take it, right? It's having that with Death Rain's flexibility, you know, defenders ever since even in 1.0, defenders hated, you know, damage that they can't roll against. So coming up against Fifth Brother, who is obviously, do you want to take a hit? and also coming up against Death Rain with all those bombs that can just cover a lot of space. That's Ed's going to have to play really carefully around that engagement if Vader goes anywhere near that, and obviously Echo doesn't particularly want a piece of it either, because 5 health
stealth device.
Yeah, you know, it's like, you've taken some damage. Great. Well, you're it's not as powerful.
Tragedy Simulator also, yeah. It's and also with the skilled bombardier, the ability with thermal debts is quite nice because he's able to, you know, launch a 4 forward, then launch a 5 forward.
Oh, it's just so much coverage, and you can just, you know, leave one with the delayed fuse just as a deterrent to go. Yeah, do you really want to come here next turn?
Yeah. Do you want to decloak that way and go this way, and then, you know, there's a concussion bomb maybe, or thermal debt that's been delayed.
Yeah, I mean, I
decloak next turn.
I'd personally be sending Vader after Echo and the other 2 after Vader, to try and just, you know, I think if that defender gets isolated against Fifth Brother and Death Rain, he can pack an absolutely massive punch. But the second that Vader gets 4-starved, his damage output just drops massively. So.
Oh, the defender Vader.
Yeah,
Well,
so like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Ed wants a Vader on Vader fight.
Yeah.
And John wants a Vader on Echo fight, basically.
Yeah, that's
Um,
correct. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see who picks up what where. Because at the moment, Vader is, where I'd put him, far too far forward. Like Defender Vader.
Yeah, it feels
I
like
think-
Ed's already going to have to make a decision for 2 turns to now. Does he want that engage? And as we see the bottom left corner, where Death Rain's heading towards. Because if he doesn't, he needs to start doing something about it right now.
Yeah, I mean, then the other thing is that John's got the option that his Vader can just do a hard 3 and just fill that gap in the middle of things. So he's got the hard 3, he's got the afterburner, so he can pull the boost and the barrel roll, and then take the lock. And it's like, I know Defender Vader has focus and evade for defense because he's a defender, but he still doesn't want to be shot by a fire control system, ATC Vader.
Nope. I mean, that's usually
at the moment. If you look
range
at
1 is 2 happy crits going in. Like, as long as you have shields, okay, can manage. But once those 4 shields are gone, no, not happy. No, thank you.
Yeah. And
also, this Death Rain has the ability to actually move extremely fast across a field.
Yeah, because he can barrel roll 4 forward boost if he wants to, and it's a medium base, and like anyone who's played with or against fire sprays knows just how quick they are with a boost.
Yeah, absolutely. And this list is putting all of the emphasis on Ed, right? We said Ed has brought a list earlier that the need to kind of execute it properly, the burden of execution, that's the phrase I'm looking for, is entirely on him.
Yeah.
And then John has brought a list where the burden of execution is entirely on his opponent. So actually it's doubly so for Ed, right? Having to be aware of all of the things a Death Rain can do every single turn, which is a huge difference.
System phase.
But you've then also got the ultimate ace killer, which is Fifth Brother, who just sits there and goes, I'm going to sit here, pop passives, go on, where are you going to land? Because you can either let me roll 4 dice at you with mods, or you can just take a hit and a crit. And like Piffo just said, those shields are the shields on the Defender are precious, because once they're gone, it's basically just a TIE interceptor, and dies. So there's an awful lot of ways that John can just get rid of those shields without really having to break a sweat. The one thing I don't like is I don't like where the Inquisitor is at the moment. I don't like where I would have liked Fifth to have space to just fly past that cloud.
Yeah, I assume Fifth is going to 1 turn into the gap and just sort of tuck him behind Death Rain again, right?
Yeah, one turn and maybe a boost just so that he's got a bit more playroom next turn. Because
Michael,
obviously,
I don't know if you want to reveal this, Michael, but how does this matchup feel on your pairings? Do you have this as favourable for you guys, or?
Not too sure, I mean, it's all what the guy thinks he can do, So it's whether it's realistic or not, it's up to the players themselves to think whether they have the ability to handle it. And John, for the most part, thinks he can handle everything. So
I mean, it's a real toolbox of a list. Like,
I'm sorry, is this a case of overconfidence? Because the 186 might know something about that.
well, I want to mention over here that we saw a thermal dead drop focus and then a thermal dead drop barrel roll. It's important that he does it in that order because of the stressful barrel roll. And he obviously reloaded his thermal deaths there. So it just shows you the amount of repositioning that Death Rain can do coming into the battlefield and threatening with the tragedy seminators and the defilade fuses. Just wanted to mention that quickly.
I am so bad at X-Wing that I was trying to figure out what John was doing. So like, why did he drop like 2 thermal detonators there? To reposition Filippo, that's why he did that.
The range control. Range control and threaten. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how both these guys approach and whether the gas clouds come into effect. Let's see.
Yeah, basically, John set it up that he's saying that, all right, Ed, if you want to come and play in this big open space, there's going to be bombs there, and you're going to have to play around them. And yeah, That's another good thing that, if Vader had advanced sensors, he'd just go, I don't care. I'll just go, well, whatever. But, so Ed's turning around and having second thoughts, I think.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, not a bad idea. Doesn't want to get near there. Maybe still wants to maybe come in, but just make John think twice about it.
Yeah.
It
Well,
does. It does open up the thermal dead drop boost to the right from John to be able to 3-bank in with Death Rain and take a lock early, without Vader maybe with catching Vader out there, and then threatening a concussion.
and I love the fact that he still has points for APTs on Death Rain in this. It's like I've got all these upgrades, and I've still got an APT, which you don't want any part of.
Yeah, I think this is a version of Death Ring. In fact, I think this exact build was one of the versions that Julian Hood was looking at for Team England as well, and I played against it, and I've got to say it was one of the least fun experiences I've ever had. It just has so many tools and so many options, and it cuts down so hugely the things you can do. And let's say for it, with only 2 ships having to deal with it, right? It doesn't give him a lot of ways of getting around into the side of it, just overwhelming it. Like, Death Ring will take damage when you shoot him, but it's a lot of health to burn through. Like, he's certainly not doing it in one turn.
I'm sorry,
Yeah, I mean,
flanking is for losers. We have learned everything from the Dave Cromwell School of Justing. So I do have a solution. Just go straight. Just go straight. You will dodge the first bomb. I'm not so sure about the second, but you will be able to do some damage.
and it's a concussion bomb, right? So it's still a dice roll. So just count on your opponent's dice being bad. That's how you play X-Wing nowadays, isn't it?
Thermal.
Yeah.
Thermal, yeah.
Yeah, the concussions or the strain or flip the card, which is not either favorable.
Yeah,
horrible.
no, that definitely doesn't want any part of a concussion bomb on either Vader or Echo.
I'm also interested in the. I mean, I've flown against a what is it called? A collision detector whisper before Echo before, which has also been extremely horrible experience because you just don't know where that guy's going to decloak.
Yeah, it's like, that rock's not there for this turn. All right then, I'll just.
But this guy, at least he gets a target lock, and I guess with a 2-ship list and no bombs, you're going to be wanting to have that maximum output.
Yeah, absolutely. He's built the ship to be squirrely, but then also to hit really hard when he needs it to. Which
yeah, like fifth brother crew is like, just here's a stapler, here's your card, off you go. He's horrible, Fifth brother.
I gotta say that if we are talking about bombs being improperly used to heal my ships, I still have to have my grudge rematch with Pete Wood since Euros, was it 2017, I think.
Oh, Piffo, let it go, man. Let it go.
No,
never. Life's too
short. Never.
We'll dust Pete off out of retirement. It's like Muhammad Ali coming back for one more fight.
Yeah.
Lloyd, since traveling is quite difficult nowadays, please meet with Pete, beat me, and say it was in my name. Thank you. Beat him playing at X-Wing.
Pete's barely played in about 2 years. I'm not sure I can promise that.
Good, I have some advantage then.
I don't know you do if I'm subbing in for you.
When he was playing, Pete was one of the most. He was just such a good player. It's really sad that he doesn't play as much as he once did, because he's one of the guys who got me into the game, and yeah, he just used to consistently win like local tournament after local tournament after local tournament, and then he'd get to a big event and he'd just have a rough dice ride. For like there'd be 1 or 2 games, and it's just like, yep, that's done.
I do have the conviction that it's because of the loss I had with him. Like, was the final round of Swiss of Euros. I am not the current European champion. Like that's why.
That's entirely why. That is the only reason.
Exactly. It's all Pete's fault.
Yeah.
Pete, I'm coming for you.
Talking of maybe players that we're less familiar with for the rest of the people watching, you want to give us a little bit of an update on the South African community and the players there? Because for a lot of us Europeans, I think we know that the country has some good players, but we maybe don't know the names and things like that. So do you want to just give us maybe an introduction to X-Wing in South Africa?
That's a good segue there. Actually, I was just thinking about how you guys in Europe know each other, and like it's the South Africans. I mean, literally, Worlds was supposed to happen, I think, in Vegas last year, was it? And obviously, Corona stopped all of that. So, a couple of our players were really, really hoping to actually come through to the international events. But it's such a mission because we're on the other side of the world. We can't just take a £50 air flight to another country and Airbnb just quickly. It's going to be like, I've got to take leave. Now it's a thing. Now I'm going to tell my wife. Does my wife like it? Can we take vacation together? All that kind of stuff. So the guys are really excited now that we actually have the ability to interact with the international community through TTS, and it's been extremely positive for the community also, especially when nobody has been able to really play on the table, even though it's opening up a little bit now. But everybody kind of knows Charlie, as he kind of put us on the map there with his win on the GSP tournament. Charlie has been kind of a plague on our community in terms of winning events, flying down from the other part of the country, hammering us with some or other form of highly extreme skill.
Is that kind of player that walks in and you see everyone else's shoulders just sag a little bit?
I'm not sure if we have anyone like that. Hey? Our community is always like, I mean, South Africans in general, they're not going to be threatened by anybody. They're going to actually, they're going to talk their own game and be like, hey, listen here, you think you're coming in here, you're going to just watch what's going to happen with whatever I'm bringing, and then I'll maybe fly a ship off the board by accident, and then everyone's going to rip me for the next 2 years about it.
Dale Cromwell is still living that up from the XTC 2018, where he flew Darth Vader off the board against a ghost. It's like, come on, Dale, we just need this win, and we basically won the tournament, and you flew Darth Vader off the board.
Oh no!
And everything was in your hands at the end.
It literally was. We were like so in control of that round, and then Dale went. Not only that, but he told the ghost player that he could, if the ghost has gone off the table, you can still jettison the shuttle. So the guy flew the ghost off the table, brought the shuttle back on, and then Dale flew Darth Vader off. It's like, what are you doing?
Oh my goodness!
It was a great. I mean, he still somehow won the game, but
maybe he was trying to get a coordinate there.
But
on the subject of the other players, to give some insight, so in our last nationals that we had played, Brandon Carter, who's our resident ace player, he had a very close game with Charlie, who was flying some Nantix aces before Ensnare was taken off and Tractor was corrected, basically. So they had an extremely close game, so basically a slight ace game. So some of our players, we all kind of hanging in there. I haven't really been. I mean, I'm part of the XTC team. I think the guys in the community, we kind of voted on who should join for which factions, and just at the time, because some of our other players, for instance, like Leon, is an extremely good player. He didn't make it onto XTC, but he's our coach, so he's giving valuable insight from other perspectives. We got a good support.
And I think coming into the tournament, I mean, everyone looked at Group B and said, well, clearly Germany are gonna win the group, but then there was a bit of a conversation for who was going to come second. And I think the consensus was it was probably pretty open amongst almost all of the teams in there. As it is, we come into this game with you guys lost your first round to Iceland, is that right? But have already won this round against Scotland.
Yeah.
Am I right to say?
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of controversy over that also. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's the first round, everybody's kind of wondering, how well can we do? how we gonna how does it actually work with the time? Because these games are going to time now, whereas in other tournaments and whatever, it's kind of like they don't really go to time sometimes. And I think X-Wing currently is really well balanced, apart from a few maybe upgrades, or some would argue fire sprays. But I don't really see the thing. I mean, everyone's worried about Zam, but I continuously say to everyone, just flank him. Just flank him. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, easy peasy. I'm totally gonna flank it. Yeah, I flank people all the time.
That's what everybody always says. Oh, that's easy. Just flank him. You got to do it. Or don't shoot him.
But it looks like your group is still wide open. Like Peru have put in a very strong couple of first rounds. They went 5-2 against New Zealand, and they're currently 6-0 against Iceland. So they're putting a pretty strong argument forward, not only for making it out of the group, but maybe even topping the group. But it does feel like, as we get to nearly the end of this round 2, it feels like this group is very, very open. It looks like just about every team has a realistic chance of getting out still. It doesn't look like there's any team that are the sort of serious underdogs in your group.
Like,
does that sort of match your assessment coming in, or were you in the same boat as us, looking at the likes of Peru, looking at the likes of New Zealand, and not really knowing what to expect?
Well, you see, when we came into the XTC, our captain Kevin had actually said, "Listen, guys, fly what you're comfortable with." And so most of us have been flying within the faction that we've been chosen and flying what we want to fly, as opposed to choosing maybe meta staples and whatever, with maybe the exception of some obvious choices for the separatists. But yeah, it's been quite interesting seeing what other guys are bringing to the table. For instance, Peru are flying mainly swarms, kind of, and Republic aces, which is also interesting. I've found, so McAlery's swarm. I mean, that's another one that people have been worried about for ages, But some of the guys have been kind of taking towards swarms. Like John, for instance, if you look over here, what's on the table? Some people argue, some people within our community also argue against each other, obviously, that no one should be scared of death ring and a swarm with these bombs. And I'm like, are you crazy? If you see a delayed fuse and you got like possibly like 4 thermal deaths, 2 with delayed fuses, and then another being launched, just all blowing up in the same thing, that swarm's going to be rolling millions of dice, which is,
Yeah, your choice is either roll into it and potentially lose half your list before it's fired, or turn everything away. So you're forcing your opponent to make bad choices.
Exactly, and that's also, yeah,
I think Ed's in an interesting place at the moment with that.
I was just thinking the same. It looks like Echo's presumably going to have to bail this turn, right?
Yeah, Echo either has to bank back right and disengage, or maybe even bank forwards to the right and try and get through that gap.
Or be a manly man and dive in the asteroid field.
Oh man,
John's done a really good job here, right? Because he's got
he's doing some great herding.
All of the places that Echo can get to that feels safe or safe-ish from Death Rain and Fifth is going to be exactly where Vader is pouring into.
Yeah.
The only thing for John I would like to have done differently is it looks like he's going to have to fit a 2-turn if he wants to come inside the right-hand side of rocks. So he's not going to get an afterburner, so maybe Echo gets that 1 extra turn to just sit at range.
Yeah, I was looking at that going, is there a hard 3 there? And I don't know if there is a hard 3 on for Vader.
oh yeah, that's an easy hard 3.
Yeah, it's been a while since I looked at the table. So yeah, Vader's
easy.
if Vader's got a hard 3
right, afterburners straight.
Yeah, then that's massively, or if the massively limiting Echo's options, because obviously if Vader can hard 3 boost past that rock, and Echo's gone towards Ed's side of the table, then Vader can just barrel roll lock, and Echo is getting shot.
And so here we see some Death Rain shenanigans. So the first drop, I don't think John took an action. The second one he boosted.
Yeah, it's weird. Like sometimes what he'll do is on the voice, he'll say what actions he's doing. because they kind of happen all at the same time. But I highly doubt he wouldn't have.
I assume you
mean-
should have a focus, I just can't see it. But
Can't see it
Yeah, I
over
don't see it.
here.
He's just offering further deterrent to Echo to say you don't want to come into this big open space.
yeah, absolutely. Closing down the left-hand side that Echo could have run to.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
if obviously fifth can just do sort of a hard 2 or a hard 3 to where Death Rain's sitting now, and just go passives. Yeah, that's Echo's diving behind the rock up to the top. Had to, just couldn't risk coming down and facing munitions and things. So I'd be trying to take the lock on Vader here.
I'm a little
I
confused.
think the focus was from the palm. Just I think he
Yeah.
said it, didn't place it.
Yeah, and now he's
Oh, there we
taking the
go.
lock.
There we go. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which means if Vader's done a 4K, next turn Vader is in an awkward position. And fifth presumably just does a roll to just give those bombs a bit of a wider berth for next turn.
No, he's going to boost. He's going to want to boost to get sense or
I think
get
Vader
away
will be out.
from those get away from
Yeah.
those delayed fuses.
Breaker is what, Piffo? Sorry, I'm just going to throw you under the bus and expect you to memorize all of your rules.
I believe it goes with wins and then points.
So it's team wins, sum of individual wins, SOS, MOV, I think.
Okay, so the first tiebreaker then is individual wins. So
Yes.
as we have here, South Africa have already won the point off of Scotland. But if you look at past XTC and ETC results, they tend to end up very, very close, and countries tend to group together. It's very rare that you have countries that are significantly above, way ahead of everybody else. So those individual tiebreakers become huge. So in a game like this, even where Scotland have lost the round, they still have the ability to get points for tiebreakers, which may become relevant later on. Just in case anyone was wondering why Eddie's working so hard.
So we've kinda lost the audio there.
That you feel
Okay, so we have had some technical difficulties.
Piffo, just check your messages. I think there might be an issue with our sound coming through.
Yeah, I've just seen it.
Okay, cool.
To double check, just somebody was saying that there's no sound.
Yep.
But, you know, it could also be a problem between the computer and the chair from that side, you know. They might have just disabled this sound, who knows, we'll see.
So I'm going to let Piffo do technical stuff. I'm just going to keep talking about the game, and hopefully he's got the audio somewhere and we can patch it.
Oh yeah, I was dealing with some technical stuff in the background, and I had to literally deactivate everything while recording. So now it should be back on. So dear viewers, promised you low quality stream.
Yeah, he's coming in. He's coming in aggressive.
Spicy.
Oh, that is bold. Maybe he's hoping like a 1 forward. He's got a 1 forward, hasn't he? I can't even remember.
No,
2 forward.
2 forward.
Yeah, no, 2 forward. 2 forward from Echo potentially.
Or just a little bank around, right? If it just drops in nicely.
Does it?
It's definitely going to be spicy. But yeah, I think again the added advantage for Ed, right, with that initiative, had already seen Death Rain not take a lock, position around, you get the additional information of where he's going to be. And it now means, of course, that you're no threat from Fifth, because Fifth is stressed, can only really turn left and just follow Death Rain around.
Yeah, or he can turn,
Or Vader might be 4K'ing.
Potentially, that move from Echo makes it feel like... Oh, sorry, TIE advances Vader.
You know what I mean? Like, he's done this a few times to me, where he's caught me out with a cheeky 4K because he's got the lock already.
And yeah, actually, that's a really good shout because Death Vader is not partaking in this turn at all. So if he's baited Echo in, and then Vader does the 4K.
That is very nicely judged by Ed.
Yeah, that was tight. That is tight, but.
And he's got the rock as a shield there. Just in case the guys came in.
Where's he decloaking next turn if he cloaks though? Because I don't think he can.
Which has to go
forward left or forward right.
Yeah, absolutely. Which you feel like from there is almost certainly going to be a disengage. Hoping to score some points and just run.
If he go, he has to go forward right, but yeah.
So how aggressive is Ed feeling? Are we looking at passive sensors or are we looking at focus?
He's thinking here.
Reaches for the focus.
Yeah, I think.
What has Vader done? Who knows?
I think you have to at this point because of that.
And there's the 4K. Now, how aggressive does John want to be?
Afterburners guarantee the range.
Do you want to trade 4 dice with Echo though? Because you're not killing Echo with Focus Evade and the stealth device.
No, but your dice are double modded and Echo's aren't, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Here he comes.
Oh, this is gonna be punchy.
He can't get the focus, but he's could disengage.
He's got all the force as well, so
yeah. These are quite adjustable times at the moment.
Yeah, I think Ed needs to barrel roll here because
so I guess it's up to the
he
dice.
Doesn't want to be playing with those bombs.
Oh.
Because if Ed doesn't barrel roll, he's going to have to use other actions next turn to. Yeah, there you go. Because then that frees him up to have the 3 bank in, which is probably quite useful. Or 5 forward and boost might get him clear, but I'm not sure it does.
Yeah, for the turn after is obviously, depending on how everything looks, Echo might be disengaging, but then Ed's Vader might be coming into pursuit, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's entirely a chance that Echo might be dead, but it's... that's pretty tasty.
There's a full string for Vader for the price of 1 force.
Yeah, okay. That seems fair and wholesome, right?
Could happen. You can do that to me also.
What does Echo do in return? Oh!
Has to spin the evade, or it doesn't have to, but.
But you're losing the stealth device. You're losing the stealth device anyway.
Yeah.
I would actually go. You know what? Take my shields. You're not halving me.
I think I'd go the other way. If you don't, Echo has a real chance.
He's got Lone Wolf. Hey?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I remembered.
Oh, natties! Lone wolf coming in.
Paint.
And then
Lone wolf.
and then Echo says my turn.
Yeah.
Did Vader spend a force?
Vader should have spent a force.
Yeah,
should
he
have spent a
has
force.
now.
Can somebody run, get a Sharpie, and draw a happy face on that advanced Vader?
Like,
Somebody cheer up Vader, because that's gonna be rough.
and
Oh.
See what happens here with the trade, with the natties and the
I think Ed just got a little bit hopeful there that he could have 4 green dice. No, Ed. No, John even.
You're confusing me there.
Yeah.
Everyone, pump the hype. Oh.
I mean, that's not bad.
Ah.
It's 2 hits and a crit, isn't it? It's
Yeah, it's going to be 5th.
Yeah, he should actually do 5th brother here because.
Oh.
I assume he said it.
I'm assuming he said it in the chat.
And that crit is going through.
Oh, that is half Vader.
What? Sorry, what did he just roll? I didn't see now.
2 hits and a crit into a single evade.
Yeah.
So
2 blanks, 1 evade.
that's another shield and a crit.
Eh?
And the crit is...
Stun pilot.
Ooh!
Hang on, so he rolled 2 hits and a crit and there was 1 evade, so where did the other damage...
Vader had lost a shield last turn.
Yep.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, he was missing a shield.
Yeah, the echo flank.
So that's half Vader. So Ed can now afford to not come in hot with his Vader. He can just hard 3 and just roll away because he's under no threat. So how does basically Ed's win condition now is how do I get Echo out of here?
Yeah.
That's the problem. Is getting Echo out of that spot.
And John has 23 minutes to work out how to get another engage.
Yeah. Because points wise, is Vader worth more than Echo?
I will check.
Echo can just
Vader
stay
75,
cloaked.
Echo is 76.
Echo can just stay cloaked.
Echo could just stay cloaked, but the problem is there's going to be lots and lots of bombs. Yeah, Echo could just stay cloaked and hard 1, right?
Hard 3?
Hard 3 looks better, yeah.
Yeah, hard 3, because you'll be
But I
away
think-
from the bombs.
A decloak right, then a 3 turn, and then a cloak again is probably safer.
I'm not sure if the decloak right would fit, but it's worth the try, because...
Or do you go all in with your Echo and decloak to the left and 4K?
No, you don't.
Oh, come on!
I mean, John's probably not anticipating it, but no.
Like that would be such a fun play.
A decloak where?
Decloak left bank, and then 4K. So jump over where they are at the moment.
Jump over 5th brothers 1 hard. Yeah, it's not bad.
It feels very aggressive when you've just taken the lead, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you know.
Phil, I can hear and feel the fire reigniting inside you.
Where's my Anakin and Obi-Wan? Because that list is all the nonsense. It's so much fun to play. It's like, here's my 6 health. There we go. Ah.
Where to from here?
2 bank left 4K. Do it. Like
it's
no
worth-
one's.
It's worth noting as well for John. John has spent basically
The
no
4K will be
resources
off the
so far as well, right? He's 2 thermal detonators down, but he can reload that with 1 action. So
Yeah.
he still is fully loaded going into the final 20 minutes of the game.
And yeah, 5th brother still has those. Oh, the stealth device went. So suddenly that homing missile from 5th brother is even
Much
scarier. Even
Absolutely.
scarier for Echo because that's all it will take to half him back, which puts John ahead. Correct?
I think they would be exactly even because the 75 from Vader would round up.
Ah, of course, yeah.
But Ed does not fancy a final salvo.
Really?
Would it be
It's 6v6.
2 and 2? Yeah, 2.
It's
that's
6v6.
Wow,
Like,
yes.
final salvo. He's like, you know what? Lottery, done it.
we could just give Vader a lock
Yeah, Vader gets his extra dice and a reroll because
And
he's got
advanced
it.
proton torp also from.
And they're both Imperial players, so they can both use Palpatine.
So going back to something we were talking about before this turn, we were talking a little bit about sense on 5th, and obviously the utility it gives you. It feels counter to 5th's ability, which is obviously spending 2 force to add a crit after you hit somebody.
Yeah.
But it's more toolboxes, right, in this list, Mikhail. It's just so many different weapons that John has available to him.
Yeah, and actually, sense this turn could be quite useful, particularly if there's a 2 bank and a 4K coming up, because But he hasn't sensed, has he? Because he'd have done that before Death Rain drops bombs.
You can do it in either order. They both have 4.
Yeah, but it makes
but
more sense.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, of course.
Yeah, you would sense before potentially doing a reposition with Death
Of
Rain,
course,
right?
definitely would.
Yeah, I wonder what he's gonna do here. So he did a boost, so he dropped and he boosted.
Yeah, and he's basically coming around the corner. He's just chasing around.
He's gonna probably go for lock, maybe.
Feels sensible to say. Has a lock on Defender Vader, who's coming in, so maybe you have to use that next turn, but...
Nah, it's a defender with a gas cloud and an evade.
Yeah, it doesn't feel great, so... No,
Oh,
just reload back up.
Yeah, seems good.
John's being very patient with this. It's a very, very patient game he's playing here. It's going to be interesting to see if he has time
Oh, we
to
didn't
get
see a
that other
decloak,
approach.
yeah?
It's not.
Ah.
We wouldn't have yet. Oh no, we would have. Of course we have. Yeah, we're into Death Rain
Because they had a move. Oh.
So Ed is just going cautious with it now. He's got that lead.
Does Fifth
Ed-
Brother take the lock while he can?
Yeah.
he will, because he's cloaked. There's no threat. Just an extra threat there. Yeah, I guess he is doing the 3 hard, and then he'll be out of all those bombs, which kind of
There he
makes
goes.
would have made more sense to rather maybe take a lock to threaten a little bit, but then I think he saw the keep the cloak token, so he's like, I'm probably not going to put any damage in there. He might just boost away from the gas cloud.
Yeah, outside of range 1, the hardest that Death Rain can hit is the Diamond Borer, right? So it's only 3 dice.
Yeah, but they're also not to be scoffed at, those things.
See, the two bank decloak and the 4K would have been great.
Did like an evade from Echo more than a focus, because you've already got the soft focus from Fifth Brother.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Ed didn't take an evade there just to guarantee himself against blankouts.
Yeah.
Sorry, Phil, you were saying.
I just think my 2 bank 4K would have been far more entertaining. But
Would you have been taking a concussion bomb?
I don't care. I've got a shield for it. It's fine.
You haven't, not with a concussion bomb.
Shush. Don't get in the way with your rules.
We've got Piffo here, I have to.
No.
I think Ed's Vader does a 1 bank boost towards Echo and gets a free shot into hurting Vader. Into John's Vader here. Because there's no threat from bombs for his Vader next turn if he does that. The lock is on Echo. Oh. Ed's playing sensibly. Oh.
So I like this as well, because it means he can slow roll 3 forward next turn, have the gas cloud seal for protection from Death Rain. If you're shooting if you're shooting Death Rain through a gas cloud,
There's going to be 2 thermal detonators sitting in that gap. Vader is doing a hard 3 to the left and boosting away. Look at the time.
Yeah.
They're taking 5 to, that's what 5 to, is that about 8 minutes for this turn so far? I think.
Yeah.
I
I think worth saying is alright. This doesn't feel like a slow game at all. What it is a very thoughtful game. It's actually been really interesting to watch so far.
Yeah, but I think Ed is now at the point where he can afford to disengage. So Echo does the 2 bank to the left, and then like a 3 bank to the right, just to get right down into this bottom corner. Vader just hightails off to back towards the other side of the board, and then you're left. Fifth Brother's not participating this turn. Vader is probably not participating this turn, which means all the emphasis of players on Death Rain. And if you get away from Death Rain, great, not taking any damage.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering what Death Rain's gonna do here. He might.
He has to fire the Diamond Bore on an Echo first, doesn't he?
Like he was disarmed.
Oh, yeah, of course. He reloaded.
He reloaded concussion. So
yeah,
I got a feeling he might throw out a concussion and with a delayed fuse, or he might do a thermal det, a focus, and then a roll to the right.
Yeah. The thing that I'd want to do with Death Rain is I'd want to do the boost left after Echo, but Vader's currently blocking that.
Way.
Yeah, because I think that's kind of John's win condition now is Echo.
John's final salvo condition is Echo.
Yeah.
I'm going to be so sad in 13 minutes when Discover I've got those points
wrong. But yeah, like if I'm Ed here and I'm match playing, Vader hard 3 left, boost away, Echo decloak 2 bank to the left, 3 bank right to the bottom corner, and then Death Rain is left the only ship that can meaningfully pursue, but he's not going to do any damage from wherever he's going to be. So,
well, could see a 3 straight from Death Rain. Or bank onto the cloud.
See, I quite like the bank left from Death Rain, just to kind of threaten the area, and then leaves you a turn to right back out next turn around that gas cloud.
Yeah, but you're relying on that other turn with 1 dice roll.
Yeah.
The difficulty with this Defender Vader is because he's so fast, it almost doesn't make sense to use a delayed fuse because you might not be able to get use on it.
Yeah.
In which you run the risk of maybe damaging Death Rain with a concussive, or thermal det. Thermal det wouldn't be that much of a thing, but taking a possible crit on Vader might be quite interesting. We'll have to see what happens here. Got no idea. I got a feeling maybe his Vader's going to come. Maybe the X1 Vader will come to the right 3 hard.
I think normal Vader hard 3 boost potentially just to try.
Boost.
No more boost because he used both burners. Yes. In that case, I think John's going to have.
Still has to turn left and just loop around, right? Because if that's where he thinks he's shepherding Vader out to, he needs to get shots on something.
John's going to have to. He can do the one at 4 without the delay. So I'd have done one with and one without the other one just to double cover it.
Death Rain's going to be in that area, right? So Death Rain has 9 health. Vader can take 4 of them in 1 shot. So if you take 1 thermal, you run the real risk of being halved in 1 shot from Vader. So I think you have to fuse them.
Well, he's done the roll, so he's looking at that channel there.
So now Ed is going to be looking at his Echo dial and working out where Death Rain can get to. Stays cloaked.
Oh, he's stay cloaked, yeah. Kind of makes sense if he's not going to shoot, right?
Also, if he's like 3 banking towards the corner, he's got a gas cloud added in. So you'd have an evade, a soft force, a soft focus, and a gas cloud versus whatever Death Rain has to throw at him.
And
that doesn't leave a lot of great options the following turn, does it?
Yeah, but Death Rain's gonna have to either take the cloud or just barrel roll to the right.
Well, if Death Rain just drops, takes a focus, and YOLOs over the gas cloud, yes, he is going to roll for straight.
Yeah,
he almost doesn't care. He's a 1 GT ship.
But Death Rain but then Echo gets the perfect information if Death Rain's done that, and Ed can just readjust his decloak. Like this is where you're playing Echo in sort of like in a Guri way, that you're just responding. You're responding to what the other fools are doing. You're just going, well, you're doing that. I'm cool. I'll dial in a maneuver that gets me out of 5 different options because I've got the decloak.
Absolutely, and actually that point is really interesting, right? We spoke earlier a little bit about the matchup process for XTC and how it felt like a rough matchup for Ed because he's playing against this list that has so many tools and is such a control list and has such huge areas of denial that you can't go anywhere to. But the fact that Echo's biggest weakness is that she's I4. In this matchup, that's not a significant weakness because exactly as you say, you can react to 2 of the 3 ships every turn, and then massively readjust your position.
Yeah. So like this next turn, he can theoretically do the decloak 2 to the right. Oh, Vader's come across. I was expecting Vader to go the other way.
But Death Ring now doesn't have a lock on Vader, so it's less scary.
Boost in to the left and try a free shot on Fifth Brother?
Death Ring does?
No, Fifth's got passives.
Yeah, so he thought that maybe Vader would come straight in, threatening that. So, I was thinking maybe Vader would go the other way, but now that he's done this, and the passive sensor's in here, so he was thinking if there wasn't, maybe I could take a calculate, keep that.
He's rolling out to get away from Fifth. Like he'll take 2 dice at range 3 from Death Rain all day long through a gas cloud in a defender.
He's gonna be doing the diamond borons if he has a.
But the lock is on Echo.
No, it's on. He didn't.
It's on Echo. He moved it.
No,
no, it's not. Wait.
No, it was Vader. Vader
No,
had a
you're
lock.
quite right.
Fifth Brother had a lock.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still 3 versus 4 with an evade token and a gas cloud, isn't it?
So yeah, he's guaranteed 2. He needs to roll 1 on 4 dice.
Oh, that's.
Well, makes it interesting.
So Ed basically needs an evade.
No pressure, Vader, but Echo really needs this.
Wow. Ooh, there's no blank. There's no blank.
Yeah, there's no blank. That's the worst for the gas cloud.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's good for general, but not the gas cloud.
So he spends his evade. He spends his evade token. And
for anyone watching,
and make him roll another.
Yeah, so gas clouds change a blank to an evade, but with every focus results, does nothing at all.
Oh dear, that was.
So you're gonna spend another diamond boron? Yeah, he did, right?
So yeah, so diamond borons. Spend 1 charge. After this attack hits, you may spend 1 charge. If you do, each ship at range 0 to one of the defender with agility equal to or less than the defender rolls 1 attack die and suffers 1 hit or crit damage for each matching result. So
that's Vader
50-50
as well, right?
damage on Vader, 50-50 damage on Echo.
No, but he's cloaked, so his agility is at 4, so it doesn't match.
Is it?
Is it base agility? Is it base agility or is it?
If only we had a judge nearby, Piffo.
It's just agility. I believe it just says agility.
It does just say agility. Piffo's intentionally ignoring it.
Yeah. No. I'm just trying to find where they are playing to just jump in the room.
Okay.
Sorry?
I think he's going to go and clarify it.
Yep.
What for what?
With agility equal to or less. So what the key question is, what does the cloaking rule say? Does it say you add to evade dice?
Agility. It adds to agility.
Yeah, and that it says adds to agility. So if it does add to agility, then yeah,
I've got the rules open here, so let's check.
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm gonna.
Hey guys, sorry for dropping in. Just 1 second. Just 1 second.
Rule stuff going on.
Yeah. I was talking with them, and they needed to clarify that cloaking adds to agility. So therefore, the agility was 4.
It's not adds 2 dice, it's adds 2 agility.
Exactly.
And
I can't even
they
remember
threw
if
the rules
there's
in there.
any card that adds dice at this point. I think they got rid of all of them.
Yeah, like
You mean stealth device?
yeah, stealth device adds a dice without adding an agility, doesn't it?
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
But stealth device is very expensive and not the most reliable.
As we can see from Ed's face down stealth device.
Yeah.
Yeah, darn,
But-
I can't actually read it now.
So
Oh yeah, of course, because we're both spectators.
so
I could
if
just look at it from the so while you defend, roll 1 additional defense dice. So yeah, it's got nothing to do with the agility.
if you're John here, do you go, I can't pin Echo down, but Vader's predictable. I try and get 2 off Vader.
I think you have to do right at this stage.
Yeah.
With a homing missile on board, with your TIE Advance Vader out of the fight,
Yeah,
Yeah,
facing
it's
the
gonna
wrong
be
way, has no afterburners.
yeah.
He's gonna be.
I think because Echo's disengage options are just too good here. There's just so many.
Well,
Like he
I don't know, can Echo afford to decloak left in just one turn? I feel like probably not, right?
No, I think Echo decloaks 2 bank to the right, and then hard 3s and just parks right near the board edge, just miles away from everything.
Yeah, absolutely. In
Like-
the same way, you could just 3 bank right and just token up, right? Just sit in the corner.
Yeah,
as far as possible.
or 3 bank right and barrel roll depending on where Death Rain's gone. You know, you've got options. But I think John's win condition just became half Vader.
I think so, man. It's gonna be impossible to catch a little cloaker.
Yeah, I think he has to go. How do I shut down Vader?
And we know for John from here, if he drops 2 bombs, he can take a lock on Vader. If he has range, he can take the focus on Vader.
Yep.
And then
And-
just bang through the gas cloud.
Well,
or
he can chuck the bombs over the gas cloud. He can then do a barrel roll, and then go forward and try and shut down Vader. And then 5th can swing round with a 3 bank or a hard 3 potentially around that rock.
So any of his rolls fit. It's tight.
I think the I think the one to the left does fit.
I think it does
No.
adjust fit.
I think the
a
one left
3 bank
definitely
barrel
fits.
roll from 5th.
Yeah, 3 bank barrel roll or hard 3 maybe.
So here comes the first tragedy.
Risky.
And as we go into
Yeah.
this final turn, just because I know that we're going to get wrapped up in this final round of shooting, can I just say thank you to Piffo and the rest of the team, and that includes Bartosz, everyone who has run and organised the XTC. We have a lot of weeks to go. There's already been a huge amount of fun, and it's been really good to meet all these guys from around the world and play games against them. So thank you again, Piffo, for all of your many, many hours of hard work.
Thank you, but it's mostly thanks to the captains and players. Like, I mean, coordination reaches its peak like right before the event starts, but then obviously, like, you know, goes in a bit of a lull. But the captains are the real MVPs because they tolerated me for like 2 months before the event.
I've tolerated you for like 5 years.
That's correct, and that's more than 5 years, I think.
So we have
Maybe a barrel roll
John
from
gambling
Death Rain?
hard on a
I
fight.
think,
he's got
yeah.
the barrel roll.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah. He's
Ooh,
gonna hurt
really
himself
like
with a
that.
bomb. Yeah. It's just putting all the pressure on Vader. So,
He's like, there's bombs, fresh hair, don't care.
yeah,
Because-
and the hard 3 fit.
Whoa!
Nicely played, John.
Ah,
Because now Vader is 3 banking, which was his obvious move. He is range 1 of both those shots, and that range 1 is an advanced
And
proton.
it's- yeah, and he can only get a response shot on 5th brother
Can we please
because he'll
applaud
bang
this maneuver
past.
by Jean? Because that's sick.
that was.
That was a
phenomenal.
very
That
good.
I'm going to be incredibly English and do a polite round of applause for that.
I mean, goodness
Yeah, that-
gracious.
That was proper. You know, I'm glad that I was able to see that the hard 3 fit.
I mean, have
that's
you-
pleasing.
Is it just me, or have there been crazy games at this XTC? Like crazy maneuvers, crazy things happening, people pulling things out of bags. There's been also crazy dice rolls.
They
Sometimes.
definitely use their fingers to plan maneuvers.
Oh, he's bumped, which is not
The
too bad.
the
from
bump the bump is preferable to the
Yeah, so
alternative.
The bump is short of homing missiles, so he's taking a range 1 from Fifth Brother.
Which
Fifth
is
Brother
3
is
dice
fully modded
with a,
because he only needs to get 1 through.
yeah, 3 dice with a lock.
Oh,
But
there's a
first,
thermal
we have some
detonate.
thermal detonators that might take away all of our tension.
Who
Oh,
knows?
yeah.
All sorts of.
And I'll just throw out as well, Vader
You
could
could half
punch
points
Fifth
on
Brother.
Fifth Brother.
Well,
You
he could
kill him.
Nah,
Yeah.
Fifth's fine. It's the one that's going off on the other side of the gas cloud is going to be the interesting one, because if that takes a shield off Vader, oh,
Close shy.
oh, that was a bit tight.
Well, I
Like
hope
Death-
everyone at home watching this is enjoying this as much as we are.
Death Rain doesn't particularly care about that, but it's Vader needs to take force off Fifth Brother. He needs to hurt him quite a
And of
Yeah.
lot
course,
here.
he has no reason to hold it back, right? He's spending.
I choose violence.
Vader
And-
literally doesn't have a choice.
This
but
Vader
choosing
is
violence.
very scary. And this Vader's just going to put 4 hits into Fifth Brother here. He's going to have
Just-
to.
Yeah, because
be
he
handy
just
out.
you just burn everything. Like there's no point not, right?
Yeah,
Because
the question is
you're Vader.
barely how good a Vader's attack die. The question is all how good a Fifth Brother's defense.
Look there, 3
Yeah, so there's
fours.
four hits.
4 hits. I mean, yeah.
You spend it, you spend it all day.
You
long.
obviously do, yeah. Because he could blank out, he could roll troll roll, he could do all sorts of
Can
stuff.
see
here.
John doing the same thing I was doing. He's just looking over and reading Vader's card.
Yeah,
Oh, this is
and-
last round, eh?
yeah. There's 17 seconds left, so
Oh, he's only done 3.
So there's half on Fifth.
half on Fifth. But
No
Fifth
force
hasn't.
was spent.
That's the thing. That Fifth hasn't spent a force, so.
Now 3 into 3.
Ooh,
With a
time's
lock.
up.
With a lock. You spend the lock
No,
on.
oh, yeah.
You have to spend the lock on the 2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
unlucky. That is very unlucky. Spends a
You could
force. And that is, I think, edge.
58 to 65. At the most.
Ooh!
Oh my goodness gracious.
50 something points. Oh wow.
That
That block from Death Rain. That
And
is
he
half
adds a
po-
crit.
Yeah, that's half points on Big Boy Vader.
It's not
So-
enough to
But
get him.
I-
It's not enough.
unless I'm
So it's
wrong,
not
yeah, Ed is still
65
leading
points
by
to Ed.
yeah, still leading by 7
65.
points.
Yeah.
7 points. Wow.
It's crazy.
Oh wow.
That is
Well
bananas.
played. Very
That
well
is
played.
Vader
bananas.
lives on 2.
Oh wow.
So,
So-
final result is the Ed Holmes for Scotland, 65 points, versus John McAlery for South Africa, 58 points. A mere 7 points lead determines the outcome of
that-
the match.
That 5 forward from Vader to jump Death Rain. That turn that we talked forever about because they took forever to set their dials was
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
absolute moment. If Vader got caught there,